All right, good morning. So we're going to do a video on one of the common problems in the XJs, the Jeep Cherokee XJs. This is a 2000 XJ. And you see I got the beautiful little yellow light lit up, and the OBDII is telling me that that is an Evap system leak. Started out coming on intermittently and it would say small leak, and now when it comes on it says gross leak, which tells me that it has gotten larger. So a lot of your evaporation system basically pulls fumes off of the top of your gas tank, pulls them through the charcoal canister, then sucks them up through and into your intake to burn them off. There's a pressure test that the system does automatically, and when it detects lower than norm pressure, it will kick on the check engine light. So one of the first things to check always is the gas cap. On this vehicle, we've already replaced the gas cap with a Mopar gas cap, and that has not resolved the issue, but for many, just simply making sure that it's on and secure can resolve the issue. What we're pretty well convinced of is under here. Right there is your charcoal canister, and as you see, you have three lines going into it. This line right here, which you can see the rubber grommet is pretty dorked up, and when I follow it around here, you'll see that that line that goes back over top of the gas tank, I believe it's called a rollover valve, and you can see how corroded that line is. It's in pretty bad shape. So our suspicion is that in replacing that line, hopefully we will resolve our issue. Some people will use fuel line and simply clamp it to both ends. I was able to pick up from the dealership pre-bent line. The part number for this is 521000162AE, and was actually surprised I got that at the dealership for about 20 bucks. I'd seen it on eBay with shipping for about 40. I'd seen it on Amazon for over 100, believe it or not. But we're going to go ahead and pull that other line off and replace it with this one and see if that resolves our Evap leak. What I'm planning to do is, because the line's pretty corroded, I'm going to heat up the rubber on the canister side and on the tank side using a heat gun just to warm it up and hope that that helps pull it off. And I'll finish up this video and show you what we got when we're done. Alright, so we're under the vehicle here, and we're going to take this line, and I thought I was going to have to heat it up. Hopefully you can see it, but actually that guy is going to pull right off of there kind of nicely and release. Let's see if we can't get some light up there so you can see. The nipple on the charcoal canister actually looks to be in pretty good condition. But again, that metal line, that steel line, is pretty rusted out. So now we're going to move on back there above the gas tank, and we're going to try and disconnect it from right here. And for that one, I am going to heat it up with a heat gun. You could use a hair dryer or something. I just don't want to tear that rubber outlet tube at all, so I'm going to warm it up and hopefully pry that out. Alright, so as I showed you, this end came off of the canister pretty easily, and as you can see, the rubber grommet is in pretty bad shape there compared to the new. This end, I did heat it up with a heat gun, which helped, I think, loosen the rubber going into the gas tank, and allowed me to pry that off without hopefully pulling and tugging on anything on the other end. And as you can see there, I got a nice pretty hole right inside the corner of that. Probably have some others as you travel along here. So again, if this wasn't the cause of that evap system leak, it certainly was going to be, although I can't imagine with that hole and the condition of that fitting that it wasn't allowing some leakage. So time to go ahead and get this new one in, and I'll take a picture of that for you once it's done. Alright, I did have to warm that. It's probably about 38 degrees here in Virginia right now in December. I did have to warm that rubber grommet up to get it to slip onto the charcoal canister nipple. But as you can see, line is in, wrapped around, up, and connected into the rubber grommet on the other end of the gas tank rollover valve. So we should be good to go with that. Hoping that was the cause of the evap leak. I'm going to go ahead and reset my code. One thing I didn't mention was that code tends to trip on a lot more in cold weather for me with fast starts when I don't let the vehicle warm up. Sometimes in colder weather, if I let the vehicle warm up, it definitely does not tend to kick on as much. But once I saw that it switched from a small leak to a gross leak, I decided it was time to go ahead and replace that part. Obviously that cell's going to stay on. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off and then restart the vehicle a couple times and see what I got. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully that helps resolve my problem, and if someone else for 20 bucks and probably no more than 10 minutes if you aren't taking a video to resolve their issue as well.